Happy Tuesday!
She's Chrissy.
And she's Sissy.
And we're Chrissy and Sissy.
Yeah!
Woo! Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Yeah, we won't be before you long, as they always say, right before, the pastor gonna be right before you long anyway. But for real though, we won't be before you long, everyone. Just want to share some quick nuggets about this Sunday school lesson. The title can kind of take you off for a second because it is Mary Magdalene, a faithful disciple. The youth lesson is Faithful Mary Magdalene. And so this is just like when we talked about, prophesying daughters. That lesson just basically meant that God can use anyone.
Anybody.
And then this lesson, we're not just talking about Mary Magdalene, but we're talking about so many. We're talking about like women in the Bible that were Jesus's disciples. So to prove again that God can use anyone, but not just that. God don't care about your title, your bloodline, who you come from, anything like that. God cares about your heart and how loyal you are. It don't matter if you've been riding with him or was riding with him back then, like Judas was for those a couple of years, and then for Judas to betray him. But then here come Mary Magdalene with everything she got going on, and when she was healed by Jesus, she became a very devout disciple. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So before we get into the lesson, go ahead, subscribe to our channel if it's your first time watching. Hit that notification bell. It's very important. Also, leave a comment, like, and share this video as well. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, which are where, sis?
At the bottom of the screen.
At the bottom of the screen. And now, without further ado, here's the Sunday school lesson. All right, break us down. Tell us the backstory, sis.
All right. Basically, just to wrap it all up about Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was the person that the word says that Jesus, he cast several demons out of her. From then, she became a loyal follower. She was the woman that stood by him while he was on the cross, and she was so faithful. And I just feel like it was just favor, divine favor, just to show just how. And this is another thing that shows you where some churches believe that women should be silent and shouldn't be used in the church, just to show you how Jesus adored women and loved women and valued women. She was the first person that he appeared to at the resurrection. Because she was there. She was at the tomb. She was there. She loved Jesus. So she was just faithful to him. And that's a faithful disciple. So that's what we're talking about now. Our faithfulness and how your faithfulness will cause favor to come upon you.
Amen.
So I'm done.
That's you done. All right, yeah, we told you. So that's our background. One thing that I want to talk about in this lesson, because we can dive deep into the word, but me sticking out was about the faithfulness. And I'm thinking about how the lesson brought out that, if we were in a class, I really miss being in person, but describe the loyalty of Mary Magdalene and then describe the loyalty of Judas. And I said, wow, because here you have it, somebody that walked with him, that was in the, I remember one pastor broke it down like this, because it went from the Jesus in teaching to the thousands, the 5,000, then the 70 odd number. Yeah, I just slipped my head, but you may know. But teaching the 70 going down to like he was in the, he was on the leadership team of the church, basically. Mm-hmm. And he betrayed Jesus for money. The Messiah, he knew who he was and betrayed him and was not loyal. But then here, Mary Magdalene, who was not the treasurer like Judas was, was not the typical, first of all, female, woman, let alone, of course, not a Pharisee, not a Sadducee, none of that comes in, was touched was healed by God, and then just like the woman at the well. And it's amazing. And maybe because we're in Black History Month, and then we'll be in Women's Month later. But I see why women and that stereotype or that mold of why they're such the backbone of the church. Like, churches end up catering to women because look what happened. Look what happened to a man who saw greed and did not see love, who saw material things over spiritual, and
Mm-hmm.
lost, and then took his own life for it. And then
Mm-hmm.
look at somebody who came in unclean, not put together, not the perfect package, and came in and was like, "Hey, this man healed me. I'm gonna be his greatest disciple." He wasn't even probably trying to be the greatest disciple, was just doing it from her heart. And when you do things from your heart to man, it may appear and it may seem like, oh, they're doing this for attention, they're doing this for this. But when it's from your heart, you're not even thinking about the accolades.
Right.
I would have thought that Mary Magdalene, would she have thought that people, and I used to tell the Sunday school class this, when these biblical stories happen and these people went through all this, they weren't thinking that thousands of years later they're going to be talking about me. We're going to be talking about Peter and how he had this mouth, but look how God changed that. Or Mary Magdalene. And one thing the lesson brought out, they said there's technically no documentation. Let me get this right. She was frequently misidentified as a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of my best friends in high school her name is Mary Magdalene, and the last name was Hale. So just Hail Mary, like all that, and it was like, girl, why your mama name you out there prostitute? But then realizing that like Mary Magdalene was loyal, stood by Jesus' disciples. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, but he was Mary that stood by him, and then like I always tell people, when people die and people come to pay their respects, they pay their respects. But while they was on earth, you showed them respect to them. I learned that the hard way. And then when they're in the grave, you forgot that they're in the grave and you just go on about your life. Like this man was Jesus, and of course he was so impactful on her life, and she stayed so long. She went there because it was custom for them to go see the body afterwards.
Right.
And with the spices and stuff. So she went to his grave, still loyal. One thing I wanted to also point out, that a takeaway that I took was, okay, for one, we should follow Jesus. All right. So we should follow Jesus. And young people, you're following Jesus, but can we tell that you follow Jesus based off your social media? One thing I learned in this lesson was, why follow people that don't have the morals I have? Because all you're doing is you're spreading them. Girl, you saw what such and such posted? Because I'll just say it. Trey Songz made shade room for something that he should not have made shade room for. And I want to bring this out too, sis, if you don't mind. But I know we keep it real.
Break it down, girl. Break it down.
I have students that are 8 years old that are on OnlyFans. And OnlyFans is not a site for celebrities. If you know what OnlyFans is, we got 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds that have access to that. So they need to hear the conversation. OnlyFans is basically, in the Sunday school language, OnlyFans, and this is teenagers too. OnlyFans is a website. So check the children's browser's history, that people can go on and get paid for showing what God gave them. And we have, I saw it, got a picture of it, saw it, and somebody I was mentoring saw it on their device. And they didn't even think to clear the browser history. So we have children out there, that's what they're following. So we as Sunday school teachers have to come in and say, look. Can people tell that you're a child of God based off who you following, based off what you posting? Because we spreading around. I couldn't help but think about our 45th president. Could not help but think about how People always kept saying, what he doing on social media? What he doing on social media? Okay, if he don't stand for what you stand for, why follow him?
Why are
Because
you following?
what was the biggest thing during his presidency? His Twitter.
That was the populist thing. That's
Everybody
Twitter.
kept talking about his Twitter. Think how much power he would have had if we never said anything about it. If we just, oh, y'all saw what Donald Trump post? That's what my attitude was. I didn't care. Because once a monkey show you he a monkey, I'm believe he a monkey. I'm not saying he was a monkey, but instead of saying the F word, the F-O-O-L word, I know some people, don't like that. But if a clown show you a clown, I believe you a clown. Maya Angelou said it best. You got something to say now? I stirred you up.
What I was going to say, baby? What Maya said? If someone show you who they are, believe them when the second time. The first time.
Believe them the first time. So when I saw that in the lesson, I said, wow, young people, who are you following? Nah, them saints, because us culture folks, we love Facebook. Who are we following? Girl, you saw what they put on there. We perpetuating, what they stand for, whether it's good or bad. So who are you following?
Who are you following?
One thing that I posted on Monday is follow Jesus. Tomorrow I'm posting others should see your love for him, that's God, by your words and actions.
All right.
And see, people nowadays, and I'm about to wrap up, people nowadays think, oh yeah, I follow Jesus. I don't talk about nobody. I don't say nothing. Nah, this is what we gotta say now. I don't text about nobody. I don't type about nobody. I don't Skype about nobody. Gospel still gospel, even if you do it not just on the phone, but if you do it over FaceTime, over StreamYard, over Google Duo, Skype, Zoom. It's still Skype and calling a meeting behind the meeting just to talk about somebody. It's still that. I don't know. I got football. And that last one I said, as long as we walk according to his word. Once God heals you, because I know everybody say, I was raised in the church all my life. Yeah, that's good and all. But there was a time in your life, because even the preacher's kids, even the minister kids, even the niece of the mother, the niece of the superintendent, the grandson of the bishop had to have an encounter with Jesus for themselves. So once you had an encounter with Jesus for yourself and you said, I'm going to take this thing seriously and I'm not going to play church, I'm going to actually follow him, your actions change. Mary Magdalene, y'all thought she was a prostitute, but you can't prove because it's misidentified, but she did have 7 spirits in her. But we're not talking about the 7 spirits today. We're talking about the fact that she was with Jesus on the cross, and then she followed him when they carried his body to the tomb, and she went there.
She went there. She was there with him while he was on the cross.
There with him on the cross. Went to go see him before his 11 homeboys that was with him the whole time didn't even go see him. We have to be faithful. I'm sorry, yeah. We have to be faithful. This lesson we got to be loyal. That's why, some people had the fact, I get that fasting from social media. But I don't know about you, but when I fast from something, I fast for makeup, I think, in November 2015. Then November 2016, I actually fasted from makeup. And what now? Because I didn't realize it, but I would put makeup on every day. But once I fasted, I said, I don't have to wear makeup. I came out of that experience different. So yeah, I get that we may fast from social media because this being on social media because this lesson was about social media, it took me away. It took my time away from reading the Bible. But after those 20 days, 7 days, so many days up, you should have had the experience that go, okay, I need to get. I felt good when I was reading my word daily, and I getting up in the morning, getting on Facebook. I make it an effort now to try to write scriptures in the morning. God has allowed me when I don't do my makeup, I can get ready in 15 minutes, especially with grace. I could get ready, and I use that time. I'm trying to in this season or in this year. I say, Lord, He showed me a person on YouTube. Shout out to the Organized Money. She has a faith planner. She literally writes her scriptures out, the verse of the day. That has been the most blessing just the best blessing to my life. Just today, love the Lord with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength. And that the fact that I wrote that out and I was like, what was the scripture today? It's in my head and it's in my heart. And then for that, I be loyal to God. But yeah, just remember, we need to be loyal to Jesus. We're going to follow him, okay? We're going to walk his word daily. Walk by him accordingly, because people should know how we are based off our action. They know that's a child of God. You got something to say?
Yes, I got my church finger up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Excuse me, pardon me. I wanted to ask, because you hit on something when you said that your friend name is Mary Magdalene, and then they wanted to say, why would your mama name you after a prostitute? Why is it that when people said that, why did the girl, your friend mom, named her Mary Magdalene? Why is it that they saw what Mary Magdalene was? Everybody was something. The bishop was something before the Lord delivered him. Yeah. The word say that you were born into sin and shaped into iniquity. So that means when you came into this world, you was a sinner until you got old enough to confess Christ as your Lord and Savior. You got old enough to be delivered from the mess that you was living and that you still living, but trying to cover up, thinking that you somebody, but God sees all. So why is it that people label? Why is it that people only seem to label women? But what I have a problem with is the same man that was in the street doing this, that, and the other thing. When he finished doing this, that, and the other thing, he's still Mr. Charlie or Mr. Dave or Mr. whatever. But if I make a mistake and then the Lord deliver me, and now I done cleaned myself up, I'm still what I was 30, 40 years ago.
To them.
If God can forgive, if Jesus can save, who are you to condemn anybody?
Just bring them nuggets. See, she got stirred up.
I said, you know what? Well, I said I wasn't going to say nothing today.
But you going to say something.
But you know what? Remain be faithful all the time. Don't be backbiting. If you're real, if you love God, young people, love God all the time.
Yes.
The basketball team, the football team, the popular kids in school. Remember who's and who you are, so that you can be the light to draw somebody else to Christ. Because in the end, only what you do for him is gonna last. Amen. And that's all Chrissy got to say. The doors of the church is now open.
Yeah, she said, don't be caring about what the football, just in case you missed it. I don't know why, but this Wi-Fi on don't be caring about what the football player, the basketball player doing. You gotta know what she said, who and whose you are. Yes. And y'all, on that note, this has been a great, y'all probably saw me taking down my hair. This has been a great Sunday school, as we always encourage you all. Hey, don't just stop here with us, study the word, study Sunday school for yourself, and take it to your classes, whether they're virtual, call somebody, just tell them what you learned. I still talk about Sunday school, even though nothing be going on with Sunday school. I still talk about it, hey? So on that note, y'all have a great time on this Tuesday or whenever you're watching, and nothing be all. Understand? Just playing. Y'all, happy studying.
Happy studying. Until next week, people.